for life.
What is going on, Brotherhood? Welcome to a brand new top 15 video. These are going to be 15 WWE figures we need after San Diego Comic-Con 2017. I know we've got a lot of reveals just recently after San Diego Comic-Con, and apparently some quote-unquote released leaked lineups for figures. Those aren't really confirmed, so I'm not going to really go by those. Some figures that were in those lineups will be talked about in this video. Others will not, that weren't really mentioned in there. So we're going to get right into this video. I don't really want to talk too much, but I decided to make this a 15 rather than a top 10 just because there are so many amazing figures that I think we really do need and I really do want. And these aren't going to be any really specific order in terms of like top 15, like 15 to 1. I'm just going to say them randomly, kind of have them in groups. But anyways, I'm going to do one honorable mention. This probably would have been like number 16 if this, was a bit more. That is the Ascension. I think it'd be really cool if we got a new battle pack of the Ascension. I'm pretty sure they were in that leaked lineup, but I'd really like to see some of the new face paints they've been wearing since the brand split. I really dig some of those attires, and I think those would be really cool. So now let's get into the actual 15, starting things off with the Cruiserweights. Now, we did get a lot of recent reveals for Cruiserweights. We did get Neville in his new updated attire. We got Rich Swann. We got Jack Gallagher. Lots of former Cruiserweight champions right there, of course, minus Jack Gallagher. But a lot of people, if you pay attention there, you would notice we are missing one. The Brian Kendrick. I'd really like to see the Brian Kendrick figure. I think he was one of the ones I really wanted the most whenever the whole division started up. He's been like a mainstay in the division for a while now. He had the main feud there with TJP and Kalisto, Rich Swann, obviously, when he lost the title. And it honestly surprises me that we haven't heard anything yet on Brian Kendrick. I thought they'd be one of the first ones they would have made. So it really surprises me, but I would really very much like to see a Brian Kendrick figure. From former Cruiserweight champion to possibly the next Cruiserweight champion, next up on the list I have Cedric Alexander. Now, a lot of people have been really impressed with his work recently. He's a very good wrestler, and I do think he is probably going to be the one to dethrone Neville, the king of the Cruiserweights, and in my mind, he's going to be the next Cruiserweight champion. I think he's got it, and I just really would like to see a Cedric Alexander figure, especially if he's going to be a Cruiserweight champion and be the face of the division. I think a lot of people would agree with that, and he's just a great talent who I would like to have a figure of. Keeping up with the Cruiserweight theme, one Cruiserweight who's been pushed a lot recently, and that, of course, would be Akira Tozawa. He's been put with Titus O'Neil, and it's been going quite well for him. This is going to be his second title shot coming up at SummerSlam, so I really think he does need to have a figure out. I think he's got a really interesting attire. We get some really new good molds with that, and I'd honestly probably see him being in the basic line or perhaps a 2-pack with Titus O'Neil. An Elite would be amazing. I just don't see it happening. But I think we do need an Akira Tozawa figure, even more if he does win the Cruiserweight Championship, which I really don't think is going to happen. I think it should be Cedric Alexander. And the final Cruiserweight I'm going to talk about is much more of a personal one that I'm a really big fan of. Maybe you guys aren't. But for me, that is the Scottish Supernova Noam Dar. I'm a huge fan of Noam Dar, if you guys don't know. He's one of the best cruiserweights in the division, in my opinion. If you've seen any of his independent work, you can see that he's much more of an Alicia Fox joke and that he's a very good wrestler. I would really, really like to get a figure of him. I think it'd be really cool if we got an Elite. I very much doubt it will happen. And if we got one of those really cool jackets that he wears, he's got all sorts of cool designs there, kind of like with the Galaxy Cosmic design would be really cool to get. But there's a lot of possibilities for a Noam Dar figure that I would really, really like to see. I think he is a great talent and that he should be a future Cruiserweight champion, and we definitely need a figure of him. Moving on from the Cruiserweights, we're now going to focus on NXT. And of course, with NXT, there's a lot of up-and-comers down there, so there's lots of opportunities for first time in the lines. So one that I would like to see is Roderick Strong. This guy really impresses me, to be honest. He's a very good wrestler, and I do think he should get a figure in the near future. He's been with NXT for a little while now, and it looks like he's kind of floating around the main event picture. If he does defeat Drew McIntyre next week on NXT, it looks like he'll be getting a title shot in the future. He's had a good feud with Bobby Roode, and I really do think he has a possibility to be a future NXT champion, and that he's a great talent, so I would really like to see a Roderick Strong figure. Keeping it up with NXT, the next one is actually 4 people, and that, of course, would be Sanity. I think it'd be really sweet if we got Eric Young and Nikki Cross, Killian Dane, and Alexander Wolf. All of them should have figures soon, I think. I could see the two, Wolf and Dane, probably being a 2-pack, and then Basics probably to start for Young and Nikki Cross. Those are some great figures, from great possibilities there for Sanity. I really think they have a bright future on the brand. Wouldn't be surprised if they all hold the championships at some point, but we really do need Sanity figures. They've been there for a while, and I know BEW Animations made a really sick Nikki Cross custom, but I would love to see a Mattel release of Sanity. That would just be insane. Again, keeping it up with NXT, we have a man who without a doubt is a future NXT champion in my mind, probably my favorite wrestler on the brand right now, and that of course is Aleister Black. This guy has been tearing it up down in NXT. It is just insane, and I could not believe what Mattel would be able to do if they made a really good figure of him, just with all of his tattoos and the detail. Like, he doesn't even need an accessory, just do those amazing tattoos. That would be just insane. I do really think he's probably the next NXT champion after Drew McIntyre, but we really do need an Aleister Black figure, and I do believe he was in that rumored lineup for like Elite 60 or so, I want to say, but we really do need an Aleister Black Elite. I would buy that for sure, and I know a lot of people would. Really excited to see what NXT and WWE are going to do with Aleister Black. Up next, again from NXT, we have Cassius Ohno, NXT's resident knockout artist. I think that'd be a great figure to make for a first time in the line. He's been with NXT for quite some time now. I believe he first showed up around San Antonio, and he was in NXT like 2 years ago, but he had that one kind of main level feud with Bobby Roode. He kind of had a mini feud with Hideo Itami. I'm not sure what they're really doing with him right now. He's kind of underused in my opinion, but I think Cassius Ohno could be a future NXT champion, and he's a great person for the brand, and he would make a great figure. I know I'd buy that. I know a lot of people would, since Chris Hero was a big name on the independents, and everybody wants people like AJ Styles, Samoa Joe. I'm not saying that Chris Hero is as big as them, but still, I would definitely buy a Cassius Ohno figure. Next up on the list, we have the Olympic gold medalist, Kurt Angle. Yeah, I know, we already saw the Entrance Greats one, and I'm not really looking to that sort of angle. I'm talking about a GM angle. We're definitely getting some ring attire angles, and I do think we do need a GM angle to complete our current rosters and GMs. Really like it whenever we get sort of GM and backstage type of people, but I do think we need a GM Kurt Angle. It'd be really sweet, and I think it'd be a great figure for the Mattel line. Of course, if we're getting a Kurt Angle, that does mean we do need a SmackDown GM, Daniel Bryan. Now, I would be okay if they didn't do like strictly a GM Daniel Bryan rather than just doing a suit. They did sort of like, a jeans and a plaid collar shirt type thing. Kind of, what Daniel Bryan wears. But I think it'd be really nice to get a modern Daniel Bryan, which I do believe we're getting pretty soon. I think it's a battle pack with The Miz that's being rumored. But I would very much like to see a GM Daniel Bryan to go with our Kurt Angle and our Shane McMahon and all that. But it'd be really sweet in my opinion. So, yeah. Up next is one that I'm really, really surprised we have not seen yet, and that is the Usos. We desperately need updated Usos. They changed their gimmick so long ago, and we're already getting figures from WrestleMania, but we still have not yet heel Usos in their day one is H attire or just their plain black attire. I think there's a lot of possibilities for what they could do with that. They could probably give us elites and give us the SmackDown tag titles, or maybe even their hoodies. I think that'd be an amazing accessory, but knowing Mattel, we probably won't get that. But I think we desperately need heel Usos to update our tag roster, in my opinion. I'd really like to get heel Usos, and I know a lot of people agree with that, and I'm very surprised we did not see them at all at San Diego Comic-Con, to be honest. Keeping it up, we have another SmackDown tag team, and this is Tyler Breeze and Fandango, the Fashion Police. It honestly baffles me that we have not got figures of them yet. Over the last little while, they've done really, really well and become very popular. The Fashion Files have been some of the most popular things on WWE programming and most entertaining. And they've had this gimmick for, before the brand split? Or even, shortly after the brand split they started it? I'm not positive. I think it was before the brand split. But we desperately need Fashion Police figures, at least Breezango figures. It's kind of been a while since we've gotten a release of either one Fandango or Tyler Breeze, which makes me think we'll be getting this soon. But I'm not sure if that was on that leaked lineup. I don't think it was, but yeah, we desperately need Fashion Police figures. Next up on the list, I have the man, Seth Rollins. Now, I know we've gotten a lot of elites of him, and we're getting a lot really soon. We just got the Then Now Forever coming out. We got Elite 52 on the way. But we really need a WrestleMania 33 Seth Rollins. Now, I know WrestleMania wasn't that long ago, but we did already see an AJ Styles from that show, which was a very unique attire in itself. So I do think we should get a Seth Rollins very soon. I'd really like to see that gold attire. I've seen some phenomenal customs on YouTube and on forums and stuff, but I'd really like to get a Mattel Seth Rollins from WrestleMania 33, whether it be in the Elite line, the basic line, or even like maybe a WrestleMania 34 Elites sometime down the line. But yeah, I'd really like to see this attire come out soon. It'd be a really awesome figure, and I cannot wait until we get that. I am definitely picking up that figure without a doubt. Coming in at number 2 on the list, and this one just baffles me that we have not gotten this figure yet. I mean, he's our WWE champion, the modern-day Maharaja, Jinder Mahal. How did we not see an updated Jinder at San Diego Comic-Con? I honestly don't know. It's just ridiculous. He came back at the brand split, and we need a figure. He's our WWE champion. We need an elite of Jinder Mahal with his more ripped look, a newer face scan with all his longer kind of hair now. That'd just be insane. We really need a Jinder Mahal, and I think it should be an elite because he is our WWE champion. Don't forget that. Last and certainly not least, the one I want the most, and I know a lot of people do as well, the current WWE United Kingdom champion, the Bruiserweight, Pete Dunne. We're already getting a Tyler Bate figure, and you know, it looks alright. The title looks amazing. The figure, a lot of people are saying, looks like John Cena, just with a different sort of hair and jawline, I guess. But we really do need a Pete Dunne. I think that figure would be so unique. They'd have to do a completely new body mold. His tattoo on his leg would look insane. His face scan, I hope they would really do a great job on that, because he's got a really unique look. I think that would look amazing, especially if we get that UK title again, because that title is just beautiful. But I really, really want a figure of the United Kingdom champion, Pete Dunne. I know a lot of people would agree with that, and that's why he landed the number 1 spot on my list. And I really hope if we do get this figure that is not UK exclusive, that it's just in the regular Elite line, because I really badly want this figure. Pete Dunne is one of my favorites right now. We need a figure of him, and we need it now. So those are the 15 people that I do want to see figures of in the next year or so after San Diego Comic-Con. Make sure you guys let me know down below in the comments exactly what you thought of this video. And if there's any I missed out, make sure you guys smash that like button and subscribe if you're new to the channel. And until then, I will see you guys in my next video. And, well, if you do have any problems with any of the stuff I said in this video, well, then...
You just made the list!